like it's stir fry. In the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. In the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. In the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. In the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. In the kitchen, carrot chicken color stir fry.
All right, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you may be. Welcome inside BC Place here on BCHighSchoolFootball.com and SportsCanada.TV, the home of the road to the Subway Bowl. As we welcome you inside BC Place as you get a look at the defending champion, New Westminster Hayaks, who won the championship Subway Bowl a year ago, just under a year ago, in dramatic fashion over the Terry Fox Ravens. We'll talk about them as we move along as they come up next. But here, intriguing quarterfinal matchup between the New Westminster Hayaks and the Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers. Welcome, everybody, to BC High School Football.com. It's Jake Elliott, Warren Andrews with you here from BC Place in Warren. Two teams on a collision course. They haven't met since 2012. They've never met in the playoffs. These two programs started back in the early 2000s, a year apart. And now they match up here on the road to the Subway Bowl at BC Place in a quarterfinal showdown. The number one ranked Panthers going up against the defending champion Hayaks. What a matchup, what a football game we have on deck here.
Well, you know what? They say the hardest thing in sports is to repeat, and I think Coach Farhan Lalji and company are finding that out. It took them a while to get their rhythm. 4-3 in conference play in the regular season, but 5 of those games they played either with an injured Phillip, the quarterback, or with him out of the lineup. They'd only lose one, but this Lord Tweedsmuir Panther team, boy, I tell you what, their defense is something else. As good as the offense is, they haven't allowed a point since October 12th, Jake.
Yes,
and
I saw that stat courtesy of Varsity Letters, Howard Samura. That is impressive to say the least, as we're just about set for kickoff here, as the Panthers will be the team to kick it away. Goddard's got it teed up at the 40-yard line. Hayaks in white, Panthers in green. Thanks for joining us, and let's kick it off. Let's play some football. It's actually Drysdale that puts the leg into it, down to the 5-yard line, and here comes the return near sideline for the Hayaks. Trying to string it out, and a special teams play down at the 5-yard line, and the Hayaks will start deep in their own zone.
Oh, man, Michael Bakoch, what a great tackle for Lord Tweedsmuir. He had the tracker on, and he hunted him down, and they're going to be starting with a long field here, are these New West Hayaks, who have that deceptive wing T offense, and we'll see how that comes into play against this great defense of the Panthers.
Yeah, something I wanted to talk about really is that wing T, and talking with Farhan Lalji, I'm not sure we're going to see a whole lot of that in this football game. It's amazing. You think, back to Vince Lombardi, and we're going to play Packer football, and we're going to run it down your throat, and we're going to do this to you, and not really worry about the other team. I think Farhan Lalji has really curtailed his game plan to try and beat the Panthers, and as they run it upside off the B-gap on the left side for a couple, Brox Comia on the carry. We'll bring up second and long here, and we'll see. I think with Kinsale Phillip coming back in the lineup, they obviously have the ability and now the decision to throw the football, but I really think they want to kind of pound the rock up inside against this Panther defense and see if they can make some hay that way.
Well, why wouldn't you when you've got number 5 there, Brox Comia, averaging 11 yards a carry, and a very good running back. And you love to see those matchups. They always say that, games are won at the line of scrimmage. We're going to see right here.
Yeah, Comia battling injuries throughout the season as well, but almost back to full health for one of the best running backs in the province as he plows ahead for another couple. We'll bring up about a 3rd and 5 here. Is nice at BC Place. They got the yard markers down on the field here, Warren, and they go with the NFL lining on the field as well here inside a CFL arena, but obviously 2 sets of turf here at BC Place, so nice luxury for us as we don't normally get that all season long.
Normally you're on these high school fields or these community fields and you're kind of squinting with the binoculars, but no, it's a real treat to call games here at BC Place. And 2 great teams going toe-to-toe right here.
Ball on the 10-yard line. Got to get to the 16 for a first down. There's Phillip on the rollout. Here comes pressure. He'll load up a deep ball down the far sideline. Hangs up in the air and just falls incomplete at the 48-yard line as that thing just hung up there all day long as North Gray's tried to get underneath it, but you get a little taste of the 3-year starter in Kinsale Phillip and the arm strength that he has as he put that ball 40 yards downfield, and North Gray's with a late crack at it just couldn't get his hands underneath it in the Hayaks.
Really surprised that Jaden Simon kind of stopped in his tracks for a minute and watched it go instead of using those great wheels that he has, he inherited from Dad, to track down the receiver. Very lucky.
Hayaks will kick it away from their own goal line here, and it's a great punt, a spiraling kick to the Tweedsmuir 45-yard line, and now the return on here for Lilly as he'll run far sideline, wrapped up nicely there in an open field tackle from Andros Dancy,
Sorry, Nues did a great job of kind of leading him over to the right side and had a few tacklers in place.
So 7-0, perfect season for the Panthers through the regular season, and played some stiff competition in the exhibition as well. And of course, the 1 seed had to bye in the opening round of the playoffs. As the offense, led by Trey Jones, comes to the line of scrimmage, it'll be at the Hayak 40. So good field position here to start their opening drive from the left hash mark. Fake the handoff now, give it up through the outside, running to this left side, trying to turn the corner upfield, lowers the pads, and it's close to a 10-yard gain on the first play of the game for Noah Anderson.
Good run, going east-west instead of north-south, still picking up some good yardage there. And Anderson, very good running back, and didn't make the conference all-stars, but still had some very all-star-like numbers.
Over 600 yards along the ground for Anderson, averaging just over 100 yards per game and over 6 per carry for Noah Anderson, and close to 10 on that. They will, in fact, give him 10 and then move the sticks for a first down and 10 here for the Panthers. Shotgun snap and another handoff, and met in the hole with some authority there. And getting up was Kinsale Phillip, and Farhan Lalji saying, as nice as it is to have Kinsale Phillip back on offense, it's almost more productive for him to come back on the defensive side. He makes more of an impact on the defensive side of the football, and just laid the hat right there.
Well, he's the lone linebacker for the newest Hayaks to make the Western Conference All-Star. That tells you something about his defensive prowess.
So just a 1-yard gain. Call it 2nd and 9. Here's Jones on the shotgun snap. Looks to throw. Guns one to the outside. And pretty good defense out on the edge there to break up that play. As Taryn Birdie got a hand in there, and they'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, real nice tight coverage there as Trey Jones electing to test his arm out a little bit here. And got the apprenticeship last year as they made it to the quarterfinals. Also, the Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers did. Developed into a good, solid quarterback this year.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where this group here for the Panthers has had success coming up through the ranks at the JV level. So they've known how to win. They've been in big games before, and now this core team at the varsity level trying to punch their ticket here in the quarterfinal. Jones on a 5-step drop sets up a screen. Nobody home. As the Hayaks read that one nicely, and incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down, and interesting position on the field here for the Panthers to decide what they're going to do as Jones makes his way to the sideline here. It's kind of in that zone. Warren, do you kick it? Do you go for it?
How much do you trust your kicker at this level, too, is another big thing at the high school level. There's not a lot of great field goal kickers, really.
Well, I think we just got our answers. Back out onto the field comes Trey Jones, and they'll go for it here on 4th down.
Sometimes it's better off to go that way.
It's 4th and 10. It's really in that zone where it's too long for a field goal, too short for a punt. So line it up and go for it on 4th down in this prolific offense. Deep ball over the middle, and nobody home. That's 10 yards overthrown there for Jones, looking for a flag. Nothing coming. Turnover on downs. Hayak's defense gets off the field.
Well, Caden Lilly was pleading his case to the referee, saying that he thought he was kind of impeded with a little bit there. Double coverage all the way down for him, and you wonder if maybe the route was drawn up a little bit differently, but, maybe a little bumping in there kind of stopped him from getting to where he needed to go.
So we have one semifinal matchup set now as Mount Doug, in convincing fashion earlier today, and along with Vancouver College, punching their ticket into the semifinal. As a quick snap here from Phillip on 1st down. It's a handoff up the middle. Then after about a 4-yard gain and taking a helmet comes off after that as well. And a little pushing and shoving is Dorjevic. Getting rough and rowdy, and whistles blowing aplenty here. I don't see any laundry on the turf yet. And I think we do have a flag down at the 36-yard line. As it looks, Lee Breen, your head official here tonight in the white hat. And sporting an excellent handlebar Movember mustache there as well.
Hope he's raising a lot of money.
My goodness, that is impressive there for Lee Breen.
That's 70s, movie star.
Yeah, that's grooming. That's taking your time with that thing. Yeah, I think we got a personal foul here. That's going to go against Tweedsmuir. No, excuse me, it's against the Hayaks.
I think it was the initial shove when he kind of knocked the guy down, and the Lord Tweedsmuir player came to his teammate's defense.
Farhan-Lalji pleading his case as you get a look at the ever so stylish New Westminster Hayaks. Always have top-notch uniforms as they go with the chrome silver helmets here tonight, and they are all whites.
Little tinge of orange or burnt orange and kind of that
gunmetal gray.
Gunmetal gray.
Well, back up the Hayaks all the way inside their own 20 to the 19 now. Got to get to the 38 for a first down here on what will be still first down here, I believe. Quick snap from Phillip. It's a handoff. Good cut at the point of attack. Comia lost the ball at the end of the play, but down by contact as he picked up close to 13 yards.
O-line did a magnificent job of just getting the crowbar out and opening up that hole.
Great cut from Comia right at the line of scrimmage. And now it becomes second and manageable here. Just 2nd and 8 after that big gain from Brooks, as they break the huddle and come to the line quickly from the right hash mark. That's one thing New West will do, is they come to the line very quickly and snap it even quicker as they hand it off again to Comia, who surges ahead for another 4-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 1, and to the line come the Hayaks with no huddle.
Well, when you got a player like that, you want to get him in the game, and you want to get him involved early, Jake.
And a pretty generous spot there, I must say, as they actually move the sticks. Looked like he was a good 1.5 yards short of the first down, but officials say move the chains.
Apparently it's not just the helmets that are silver, it's the tongues that are silver too, convincing those officials.
Hayaks to the line, ball on the 38. Kinsale Phillip under center, fake the handoff, roll it out, load it up, deep ball again, and looked like contact out on the edge there. No flag as Choyle looking around and wondering where the laundry is. There was a good collision out on that far side there as Jaden Simon in coverage on Choyle. But no flag comes in as, again, Phillip trying to stretch the field, keeping that Panther defensive back unit honest here in this first quarter.
Well, give him credit, too, because he was feeling the heat. They had 2 of the linemen crashing down on him. He stood in there bravely and let it fly. And
2nd and 10. Handoff to the up back this time. I think this is Kingsley. And he'll get ahead for 9 as he runs left. That was my best Hayaks PA announcer impression there, as every time Michael Kingsley it's Kingsley that he touches the ball. It now got stuck in my head doing a couple of Hayek games this season.
Just sounds so royal. Well, you look at them throughout the regular season. They all average at least 8 yards a carry, every single running back or quarterback.
A little trap. Another good surge from Comia. And it's a first down for the Hayaks, who have a drive working here.
And the O-line doing a really nice job of opening up those holes. I mean, along with the misdirection, it's got to be a lot for these linemen and linebackers to take in for the Panthers.
This drive started deep in Hayek territory after the turnover on downs from the Panthers. It's a 1st and 10 now, but a Panther down gets a little reprieve to tie up his shoe. As the officials spot the football and wind the clock here. 1st and 10 from the Panther 45 in between the hash marks. Phillip, quick handoff. Kingsley slices past one man and picks up 4. And it'll bring up 2nd and down. And this Hayek offense really, a lot of what they do and what makes them successful is their tempo. And right now, they're in the groove on this drive.
Well, you're not allowing those defenses to catch their breath either and get set. You're coming at them wave after wave, and you don't know who's going to get it because everyone's running one way or another.
Phillip under center. A little misdirection this time. Oh, it looked like Comia could have bounced that to the outside and would have had all sorts of real estate, but tried to cut it up inside, and it was broken up pretty quick by Michael.
Got 2 big plays for him. You look at the opening kickoff where he tracked it down and got him deep, and another one there, because if he had missed that tackle, he's got real estate for days.
Just looked like they had the edge sealed there if they wanted it. Comia tried to go back up inside, and it got closed up. So it brings up a 3rd and 3 here for the Hayaks. Phillip. There's that handoff again. Comia with a nice juke. Uses the official for a pick. Now tries to bounce to the outside. And he'll stop up and go down around the 7-8 yard line. But a great run there from Brooks. Comia has the Hayaks in business down inside the 10-yard line.
Well, you watch the handoff, too. It was beautifully done because it looked like he'd already kind of passed him. It was a quick little flick at the end there, and then he did all the rest with his legs. Nice work by the Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers to not give up and use a lot of speed to get back there and prevent the touchdown.
I'll put that ball down on the 8-yard line as Phillip waits for the signal to come in from the sideline. It comes courtesy of Lalim. As they'll come to the line of scrimmage, they'll work from the left hash mark. Phillip under center. It's another handoff up the middle. Kingsley lowers the pads down to the 1-yard line.
Giving them a royal beating on the defensive side there is Kingsley.
That offensive line is really getting off the ball right now, and they're just pushing the Panther defensive unit backwards here on the snap.
Well, you got a guy like Evan Noley out there that can do it on both sides of the ball. And
probably the best lineman in the province right now. Evan Noley has just multiple scholarship offers from Canada and USA alike, and a bright future ahead of young Evan Noley.
Number 76, and Coach Lalji talking about him and saying he's a guy that's got that switch. He's the most mellow, easygoing guy, but when it's a football game day, it's all about football, and when he gets on that field, he's a warrior.
Just kind of like yourself, Warren Andrews. Ball is down to the 1-yard line. That's Sadler. That's slow to walk off here for Lord Tweedsmuir, as the ball will be on the 1-yard line. The U.S. trying to get the opening points of the evening here in this, third quarterfinal game at the AAA level. As we'll have Terry Fox, the finalists from a year ago and champions from 2 years ago. They'll take on the Jugglers of Notre Dame. That football game coming up at 7:30.
Looking forward to seeing Will Clark, the all-world quarterback for Notre Dame, taking on a very impressive Terry Fox team.
Jaden Severy leading that squad. Here we go from the 1. Long count here for Phillip. And he'll try and sneak in. I don't think so. As the Panthers got low and broke that one up quickly, as Phillip just didn't have a hole.
Great job by Dakota Lapine, among the players that got through and managed to tangle Phillip up, and he wasn't letting him go anywhere. And this would be huge if they can somehow limit them. This would do a world of confidence for Lord Tweedsmuir.
Second and goal from the 1. Quick snap once again. Fake it and give it to Comia. He's wrapped up for a yard loss this time.
Jesse Goldman.
So 0 for 2 from the 1-yard line so far from the Hawks. And almost lost that football, did Brox Comia. Did well just to secure it on his hip.
Wonderful job pursuing. Broke through the plane there and hunted him down and wasn't going to let him get to that edge.
Well, Dan Dorjevich has to come off as he lost his helmet on that play. As Matthew Lalim will come in here for New West on a 3rd and goal. Ball back to the 4-yard line now. And a big play here for both teams. Panthers dig in on the line. They got 5, make it 7 in the box now as Phillip will put out a tight end on the edge. And now what do we got? I think the Hawks want timeout here before this crucial 3rd down play. Farhan Lalji going to come out and talk about it with his offense. And I think more than anything there, Warren Andrews, you saw Dorjevich come off the field. I don't think they wanted to run that play without him on the field, so they burn a timeout to get their lineman back in as he had to come off because of injury.
Well, it's worth it if you've got that key piece to what you need to do, and he's sitting on the sidelines watching. You don't execute it, you lose your confidence. You build confidence with Lord Tweedsmuir. So do what you got to do, and if they can punch it through, then it's something that it pays off in the end.
Yeah, it's worth taking that time out if you get this ball into the end zone.
But if Lord Tweedsmuir can stack it once again, I tell you what, they won't care they've got the whole field to go down, because this is a huge – because New West is making it look so easy, marching it down from inside the red zone essentially, all the way up, and doing it with ease with a number of different players. But
a couple of 3rd down conversions, but it's been a nice, impressive drive here from New Westminster. And here we go with a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Just inside the left hash. Hand off. Comia to the goal line. Touchdown, Hawks. They got the block that they were looking for there for Brox Comia. And he's into the house for 6.
Well, when you need the right pieces out there, you get them out there, and what a great job. Look at that, just sealed off the edge. He had nothing but daylight to get into the end zone. They got a tip of his toe, and that's about it. And the defending champs take the early lead.
Extra point, up and good from North Graves. And the Hayaks, the defending champions, lead this quarterfinal matchup 7-0.
See, now here I think is you've got a team like Lord Tweedsmuir, 7-0, 8-1, including exhibition against a couple of American opponents. And the coach was talking about, Kurt Thornton, you can't get overconfident. You can't get that cocky mentality, because if you do, it's not a winning mindset. And this is where they can see how these guys respond now to a little bit of adversity, something they haven't had a whole lot of this year.
Yeah, and they're playing the defending champions right here. And I know they had a down regular season at 4-3. They've had some bad losses this year, half the Hayaks. But they're the defending champs, and when you got a 3-year starter in Kinsale Phillip back in your lineup, a healthy Brock Scamilla, a lineman like Evan Noli, you can beat anybody at this level. And Tweedsmuir, again, you know, they've had some success at the JV level. They made it to this position a year ago. They did have a fantastic regular season, but you got to do it when it counts the most. And the number 1 seed find themselves down 7 as they'll get a second crack on offense here on the return. The Turf Monster almost got him. Comes across the 30-yard line to the 33 before being stacked up there by the Hayek special teamers.
Not a bad return, considering they kind of juggled it a little bit like he was trying out for Cirque du Soleil. And decent field position for the Panthers to start out with here.
Omer Cody on the return. Watch it here. Kind of stubs his toe right there and never really got the motor going. But does make something out of it. In decent field position here for Lord Tweedsmuir. As the boys in green break the huddle. Trey Jones in there, quarterback hill, working out of the shotgun. 4 receivers set, single back in the backfield. He'll hand off. And good tackle there out on the edge. Is that Noli? No, it was 75, excuse me. That's Narian, who got an ankle tackle in on Anderson to take him down.
And they were showing run the whole way, and yeah, just great pursuit. What a wonderful tackle. You mentioned that.
That's just strength right there. Reaching out in desperation, not giving up on a play. So Jones now staring at a, well, let's call it 2nd and 10. No gain on that first down. Hayek show blitz. Phillip comes up through the gut. Jones to throw. It's picked off. Intercepted.
Grayson.
Planensic,
yep.
And ill-advised throw there for Jones. Not sure what he was looking at, as I think there was more Hayeks in the vicinity than there were Panthers for that ball. And pretty good job from Planensic just to step in front of that one and steal it. As he comes up with a big turnover here for New Westminster, as they'll take the ball at the 36-yard line of the Panthers.
Well, the Hayeks corners and DBs have done a marvelous job in watching them all game and not really giving Trey Jones anything to look at here. And
they don't blitz often, but when they do, it's usually the right time to call it. As Phillip now on the carry, jukes a man from close to 10 yards. They'll mark him down right at the sticks. How about the move from Phillip in the gap?
And a great block, as you'll see just before that, too, that kind of gave an extra 2 or 3 yards. Number 22 coming up there. Whoop. Boom, lowers the shoulder. Just got a piece of him, but that allowed him to pick up another 3 or 4 yards.
I'll mark him down just shy. Call it 2nd and 1. Playbook wide open here on a 2nd and short. Phillip will hand it off. And it's a big game for Comilla into the end zone again. Touchdown Hayeks. Oh, with some flair at the end of that with the spin.
Oh, and there's the flag. Saved flair for the runway. And as soon as he beat that first tackler near the line, you knew he was gone. He's a powerful runner. And once again, just the last second handoff right there, slipped by him, and it was
barely
nothing
touched
but the end zone.
And then just watch the little flare on the end of that. And
not bad dancing.
I mean, why are you flagging a guy on that? He just scored a touchdown in the playoffs in BC Place. Yeah. Let the kid have a little fun and celebrate.
Can't bend the rules, sir.
You can, though.
Now, my question to you is, what does this do to the psyche of Lord Tweedsmuir?
Well, we saw earlier South Delta get up on Vancouver College quickly, 12-0 off of 2 turnovers. and got out ahead of that game as that extra point just clears the upright. I think it was partially deflected.
A couple
But
of guys
Vancouver College really didn't panic in that opening quarter and kind of reset to start the second and go on to win that game convincingly. So, this Tweedsmuir offensive unit has some weapons on it. I don't think they're going to panic. They'll make some adjustments, and they're not going to keep them off the scoreboard all night long here. So, down 2 touchdowns, yes, but a ton of time to go in this football game and this opening half. I don't think you get away from the game plan by any means yet.
Well, I mean, the nice thing for Lord Tweedsmuir, too, if they want to mix it up a little bit, his younger brother, Trey Jones' younger brother, is a pretty dynamic quarterback himself, too. So you've got a couple different options to go to there.
Yeah, he's seen some time this season here for Lord Tweedsmuir as well, as they'll back this kick all the way back to the 25-yard line. I just don't know, like, you're allowed to do all sorts of dances in the CFL. Now in the NFL, you can have some silly. I don't know why they've clamped down so hard here at the high school level.
Don't want to offend
Let the kids have some fun.
Don't offend anybody's feelings, right? But that's another conversation.
Low driving kick, bounces down at the 39, takes a high hop to the 30. Here comes the return. Good blocking out in front across the 50, inside high territory down to the 47. And maybe the best field position to start a drive here for Tweedsmuir after that good return.
Omer Cody did a nice job of waiting for his blocks to set up in front of him. And, yeah, great job getting all the way down right to the center. Good tackle, too, to bring him down by number 6, Arjun Ball.
As the ball just shy of the 45, call it the 46-yard line here of the Hayeks, left hash mark. Out of the shotgun once again, a little wildcat formation here. And a run ahead for a couple. That was Drysdale on the carry. As they'll roll off the pile. And it was Kojo Adum, as maybe their most explosive and dynamic athlete on that Panther offensive team.
Well, we talked about him. I mean, he's the conference defensive MVP, but he had to sub in from being a receiver to being a running back when Hutchinson went down with that torn ACL in spring camp. And
what did he do? He went 24 carries for almost 300 yards and
11-yard average.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns to go along with it. Dangerous center of the backfield is O'Doom. Here's Trey Jones back in at quarterback, hand off to Anderson. He'll run right. Gets met out on the edge after a 2-yard gain. And a hard hit as the Hayeks really bringing the heat defensively right now. As Matthew Lalim lowering the pads on Anderson.
Well, he needed to make that tackle, too, because he got about 2 more steps.
Man, that is a violent collision out there. But that's just good football. That's the way you want to teach how to tackle right there.
Yeah.
Wrap up, see what you're hitting, and go right around the midsection there to take him down. 3rd down here and call it 7. From the right hash, 2 in the backfield. They're going to run it or try to for the first down. They won't get another violent collision. I think Kinsale Phillip making first contact. And I think he felt that one just as much as the runner did, but no worse for the wear. Just watch it in the trenches here once again, and whammo. My goodness.
Phillip and Noli delivering a little pain for dinner. And they're showing you, you want to run the ball against us, that's fine, but you're going to be getting a lot of bumps and bruises at halftime, too.
Well, they're going to try and play a little field position here as they come up short on 3rd down, 4th down now, and they'll bring out the punt team here. But down 14 points as we hit the end of the first quarter, and I think we'll flip around here before the punt of quarter number 2. You got it on BCHighSchoolFootball.com and SportsCanada.TV. This is BC High School Football quarterfinal action from BC Place. We're back in a minute. All right, football fans, welcome back. Fourth down coming up here for Lord Tweedsmuir. Vancouver College and Mount Douglas have punched their ticket into the semifinal. That will be played next weekend here from BC Place. The winner of this one will face either Notre Dame or Terry Fox. That one comes up at 7:30 right here on SportsCanada.TV after this one. Here comes the kick, and it is a high spiraling kick that bounces and then takes a Hayek bounce backwards up near the 17-yard line, called the 18. And that's where the Hayeks will start now, working right to left across your monitor here on bchighschoolfootball.com. It's Jake Kelly, Warren Andrews with you. And folks, if you want to be interactive during the broadcast, we fully encourage that. At least I do. I'm not sure if anyone else does. But you can find me via Twitter at PXP, the number 4 Sports, PXP for Sports. Let me know who your favorite team is, who you think is going to win the Subway Bowl, where you're watching in from. And if you want to make fun of Warren, you can do that as well. First and 10 here for the Hayeks. And it's a handoff up the middle. It'll go for 1. There's pretty good defense inside there by the Panthers, as Planinsik couldn't get much going.
You know, I think this Panthers defense has to step up and make a play themselves too, because the Hayeks just did that and then they converted, and now they've got 2 majors on the board, and this Panthers defense has been so good at not just not allowing points, but also creating turnovers this year too. They've got to come up with something pretty soon.
2nd and 9. Hard hitting the hole once again, and not much on that second down carry, maybe a couple. I'll bring up about a 3rd and a long 6 as I see players from both Notre Dame and Terry Fox down in the north end zone, starting to take in one of their future opponents, quite possibly.
You can see at the top of the screen there, Arjun Ball and Jaden Simon kind of getting into it, so maybe temper's starting to flare up. Maybe not a total bad thing, when it comes to playoff time. You want emotions running high.
3rd and 5. They got the first down, and more is Planinsik bouncing off of tacklers after an 8-yard gain, and a late flag comes flying. Might be a late hit call. As Hayek down right where Planinsik went down. Let's watch the end of this play here. Right there at the end of it, and that's going to go against number 50, Dakota Lapine, on really an unnecessary play.
Yeah, took down Pavan Kainth on the play, and that was a few feet away from where the ball carrier was taken down. So that's something I'm sure the coaches will talk about at halftime. That's discipline, something that you can't control. You can play hard, play emotional, but you don't need to do that. It only hurts your team.
Yeah, just really unnecessary more than anything. The play was over, and it was kind of a belly-to-body suplex there at the end of that play, taking that man down who's feeling not so good after that one as he takes a seat on the sideline.
Well, we have seen Ric Flair at the Hamilton Ticats game, so maybe a little wrestling here in the building.
I'm not sure we want to even bring up that football game. 48-8, the final for the Ticats, says Wally Bono no longer the head coach or general manager of the BC Lions, and it's kind of weird to be inside BC Place knowing that and feeling that Wally's just not going to be wearing orange down on that sideline moving forward.
Well, you know what, though? He's left his indelible mark on the franchise. They are in better shape, I think, overall than when he first arrived from Calgary.
No question about that. So after the penalty, ball comes all the way out to the 49-yard line on a 1st and 10. Just on the Hayek side of midfield. Play action. Phillip trying to roll to the outside, trying to stiff arm a man, trying to stay on his feet. Not going to do it. A huge sack here, close to 14 yards. As Phillip goes backwards, as that's really the first successful defensive play that Tweedsmuir has had. They've made some stops, but really moving the Hayeks backwards on that side.
Davis Luterod with a great job. He would not be denied. He read that play all the way, and even with the stiff arm from Phillip, he stayed with him until they got a little extra help, and that's a big defensive play. We talked about that. They needed to step up. There's a big one right there.
Well, when you run play action or a bootleg like that, you have to be ready for the guy coming off the edge, and Phillip just couldn't evade him. And this is the play they've had the most success with, but Comia gets stopped in his tracks there as
Nathan Gumon.
You can really start to feel this Panther defensive team kind of start to find their legs underneath them here a little bit with a couple of solid plays on defense the last couple of snaps.
Well, if you're not used to seeing this kind of offense, it takes a while to kind of adjust and get yourself acclimatized to your surroundings. But I think a good defense will do that, and good coaches will find the seams that they can penetrate, and they're starting to at least a little bit here in the second quarter.
And now they can maybe just pin their ears back and come after the quarterback here in a 3rd and 17. There's a long way to go for the Hayeks for a first down. Got to get to the 41 of Tweedsmuir for a first. Phillip evades one tackler in the backfield. Going to try and do it himself here, and this is not going to work out for Kinsale Phillip or the Hayeks. They're going to have to kick this ball away. There's another tackle for a loss there by the Panthers, as Kyle Dodd, one of the leading tacklers here of Tweedsmuir. 35 tackles, 5 sacks for Dodd as he gets home on Phillip, as he tried to extend the play, but just too many green jerseys around.
Yeah, the United States midterms, they talk about a blue wave. That was a green wave right there, and it did not stop.
Careful, Warren Andrews. High snap. High kick. Short one. Fair catch called for and made at the 29-yard line by Caden Lilly. And the Panthers, who find themselves down 14 points with 8:16 here to go in this second quarter, will get another crack on offense as out comes Trey Jones and company.
I think they've got to have a positive first play here, get some decent yardage, get a first down early to get some confidence with their offense. The defense now starting to walk a little prouder, but the offense has got to step up too to keep those boys off the field.
Yeah, and as you know, these guys play, a lot of them play on both sides of the football as well, so their confidence should be on the rise after getting off the field defensively. Let's see if they can carry that confidence over offensively. No, as Phillip on the pinwheel tackle on Anderson slams him to the deck after a 1-yard gain. Their emotional and vocal leader, Kinsale Phillip, after missing 5 games in the regular season, played the final regular season game, played the playoff game, a 44-7 victory over the Panthers. And feeling better and better each week is number 4, and you get another taste of his defensive prowess right here.
It looked like Anderson had the hole, but boy, yeah, Phillip just read that beautifully.
4-man front here for the Hayeks. They'll play man coverage out on the edge. It's a wildcat run for O'Doon. Yeah, it's a pretty good game. We'll bring up a 3rd and manageable here. We'll have about 4 to go.
I like how he leaned ahead, kept those legs churning, picked up the extra yard or two that if he was crouched down too much, he wouldn't have gotten. They need to get this first down here, Jake.
They do. Let's see if they can do it. As Jones comes into the huddle for the play call. They break the huddle, pop in the mouth guard, come to the line of scrimmage out of the shotgun here. 4 receivers, 1 in the backfield for Jones. In between the hash marks on the 35-yard line. The lefty fires, and short and wide. Incomplete. 4th down here for Tweedsmuir.
I was wondering when they'd try to look at least to go to Joseph Drysdale, dynamic receiver for the Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers, and they went to him, but it was way off the mark there. You've got guys like Drysdale and O'Doom that really haven't gotten involved offensively as of yet, and they were keys all year to the Panthers' success.
Yeah, and you think maybe 4th and 3, you're down 14, maybe go for it in this situation, but you're just too deep inside your own territory and haven't really had a whole lot of success moving the football yet, and now a late substitution coming on for Tweedsmuir, not knowing his assignment, but still lots of time in the play clock, as he'll avoid the coach's wrath there. Here comes the angling kick. It's a end-over-end punt, not a deep one. Comia on the sideline wanted to catch that ball, but wanted to let it drop as well as it bounces out at the Hayek sideline. And New West back onto the field with a 2-touchdown lead, and we'll have decent field position to start this drive.
That's 2nd straight drive, I believe. They've had some great field position close to the center mark, and we'll see if that was just an aberration with Lord Tweedsmuir reading that wing T offense, or if they can get going again here. Because, I mean, in the first quarter, it was all New West having their way, swashbuckling back and forth with lots of deceptive plays. And
well, most of their success has come running off of either tackle here as they go back to the well once again, but Panthers ready for that attack and limit to a half-a-yard gain. Dodd with another tackle.
2nd and 9 coming
I mean, and there were about 2 or 3 other green shirts ready to go if he'd slipped through that one. So
Kingsley not getting much. Phillip will saunter back into the huddle, relay the play call. Just watch how quickly they get to the line. There's no hard counts or long counts. It's just hand under center. Look out, fumble. And recovered by the Panthers. Is that the break they need?
I think it is, and you can see them still jostling for that loose ball, but the referees have already signaled. And that is the jolt of adrenaline this Panthers defense needed to give their offense. Now the offense has got to capitalize, and Trey Jones, I think, has got to try to test the defense again, but just be a little more accurate with the pass, because
it's just a botched handoff from Phillip to Comia. Just never really watched it go into the pocket there of Comia, and that results in a fumble. And Jesse Goodman gets on top of the football, and Panthers in business here from the 35-yard line. Now what do we got?
Is a timeout again? They're not moving the ball anywhere.
Either that or Lee Breen is just waving at me, but that is a
Do you see me, Jake? I'm here. Hey!
timeout for the Hayaks, as that is their second of this first half.
Burning through them.
Yeah, that's a kind of a peculiar timeout call there off the turnover. But maybe didn't have the proper personnel out onto the field in time and didn't want to get caught in a mismatch there. So they use a timeout. And you can't take them with you into halftime either, Warren. So you might as well cook them if you got them. And you're up 14. You don't want to make a mistake at this juncture as the defending champions playing well here against the number 1 overall seed and the Panthers. And really, in this year like no other, the 8 teams that have made the playoffs, any one of them could really win the Subway Bowl this season.
Yeah, absolutely.
1st and 10 for Trey Jones from the 35.
He is going to air it out.
3-step drop, loads up the gun. He's got a man one-on-one out on the edge and knocked down. Didn't really turn back to see the football, did Taron Birdie, but I'm not sure he needed to, as the pass was intended for Lilly. Maybe just a little underthrown for Jones, but he did have to get rid of the football. As coming through quickly was Dario Kate.
You would have liked to have seen number 10, Caden Lilly, maybe make a quicker cut in there, cut inside and make that catch. But you know what? I like the play call because they needed to be a little more deceptive and put a little bit of doubt in the defense as to what they were going to do. So now they can go back to the run if they need to.
Anderson in the backfield. They'll hand it off to him. He's in trouble. He's going to be wrapped up and dropped for a loss.
And who else?
Noli, Kinsale, Phillip on the scene. And the Panthers go backwards on that play.
Tell you what, so far, Phillip has been the player of the game early on, at least for me, on the defensive side. He's been everywhere, plugging holes, taking bodies down.
Just beat his block cleanly there. Was untouched and into the backfield almost before Jones was able to get the handoff to Anderson. Just beat his man cleanly, and that's tough to defend. It was close to being in the neutral zone for that snap, but timed the snap count perfectly, and that's tough to defend when you got a guy that times the snap count and is that quick and athletic. Here he comes again. Misdirection. It's Drysdale. He's got something cooking to the outside. Drysdale turn the corner. 15, 10, knocked out of bounds down around the 7-yard line. Good play there for the Panthers as they'll have a 1st and goal.
We mentioned a moment ago they needed to get Joseph Drysdale involved in this offense, and if you can't get the ball to him through the air, get it in his hands and let his feet do the work, and he did just that. Nice blocking on the outside, and boy, look at those Nikes churn all the way down, and they are now within sniffing distance of a major.
Yeah, they'll actually say he stepped out at the 10. It's a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line as the sticks chains lay down on the sidelines. Here's Jones in the handoff. Anderson bounces it to the outside, running left. He'll get a couple before being knocked out of bounds. And he'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 8.
Good job by the New West defense anticipating that and kind of loading up the right side, and he had nowhere to go.
Well, it's all about getting the ball into your hands of your playmakers, like you said, Warren, and somehow, some way, they got to get 4 more touches here. Number 4, that is.
Now, is this a player where you go to maybe Simon on a quick little
He's coming back off a long hamstring injury that had him see spot duty all season long. Little trap. who's got it. It's 23 to the pylon. Touchdown, Panthers. Kojo Adum for Tweedsmuir into the end zone.
He's been a ghost in the first half, and all of a sudden he comes through with a big major, Kojo Udom, and they kind of gave New West a taste of their own medicine there with some misdirection.
Just too quick out on the edge. And the Hayaks couldn't get there. There's Odum just on the sweep there, if you will. And then got low and found that pylon to get into the end zone. That's major that Lord Tweedsmuir really needed to make themselves feel a little bit better after this rough start here, down 14-0 now, down 14-7.
Well, you mentioned that, Jake. You know what? Don't count your chickens before they hatch, so to speak, and it doesn't matter about the early lead. How do you do the rest of the game? And the defense is really starting to step up for Lord Tweedsmuir. They're starting to read the plays, and I think we're in for a very interesting end of this second quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I saw the matchups and I saw it was going to be the Hayaks against the Panthers, and I had a chance to do a Panthers game early in the season in Coquitlam in a game that they just whitewashed the Centennial Centaurs. Hard to get a read on how good they actually are or were at that point of the season, but you see them clip along. They haven't allowed a point since October the 12th. Number one ranked team overall, but then you look at the Hayaks, you know, they're a team that's been here before. Yeah. A lot of returners from the previous championship team getting healthy as they go down the end of the regular season. So when I saw this matchup, Tweedsmuir against the Hayaks, I thought to myself, man, that is going to be a doozy of a football game. And now we got one here with just 7 points separating the two teams with just over 4 minutes to go to halftime.
Taryn Birdie there with an 18-yard return and a great booming kick. Got that all the way down to the 1-yard line. So not the best field position for the New West Hayaks when they've been accustomed to, you know, starting out at about the 35, 45-yard line each time.
And we'll start this drive on the 20. And like I said, over 4 minutes to go to halftime, so time not really a factor as far as being short on it. On the other hand, you want to get a couple of first downs here if you're New West and keep the ball out of the hands of that high-powered Panther offensive team.
We'd love to see him go to the air here.
It's Comia along the ground, though, as he runs into the backside of Noli. Stays on his feet, then gets popped at the 25. But it'll be a 5-yard gain here for the Hayaks and bring up 2nd and 5.
Call him Michael Clements because that was very pinball-esque as he bounced around off of 3 different tacklers before he was taken down.
Took a shot at the end of that play there from Lapine, who's been around the football a number of times here tonight. Here come the Hayaks to the line. Quickly now, Phillip. Handoff again. It's Kingsley trying to stay on his feet. He gets spun forward for a couple. It'll be 3rd and short here for New West, as they'll put it down on the 28, 2 to go for a first down for New West.
What I love of the way New West operates their offense, just those handoffs are so quick, it's so deceptive, and you got to really be on your toes at the line there because there are about 3 different people going in motions 3 different ways.
And running near side this time, Comia wants to stay in bounds as he crosses the 35, then gets hit out of bounds at the Hayaks sideline. And up talking after that tackle was number 6 in white, Arjun Ball.
What I love that Comia did here right near the end, he waited because he knew he was going to get hit, and he was like, I'm going to get a little bit of steam, and I can hit you at the same time, too. And he's been very impressive at the running back position, along with, you know, Kingsley and a number of Phillip hasn't run a whole lot, but, boy, they've got a lot of guys with some great legs.
1st and 10, misdirection. Planensic stays on his feet somehow, gets back to the line of scrimmage, might have got a yard, as that one almost went for a loss, but a nice job from Planensic to make something out of nothing there, if you will, and bring up a 2nd and long.
Well, you look at the front 4 for Lord Tweedsmuir. What a great job of getting through that offensive line, and then they allowed their linebackers to get in there and help them out, and Davis Luterod once again making the tackle.
Another handoff from Phillip. Comia almost skipped past his man, but does pick up close to 6. And the Hawks, who started at the 20, have the ball out across the 45 to the 46. As they got to get to the 49 for a first down, call it 3rd and 3.
They really have ridden the legs of Kamiya here on this drive. Involved in about 3 or 4 different plays and come up with positive yardage each time.
Well, Panthers almost jumped there, and that's what going on that quick count all the time will do. When you need to get that hard count, you can sometimes get an offside call. Look like
there's the flag.
This time it's going to be a false start as they went with the long count, and that's how it can backfire on you as well. It disrupts all your timing that you've had kind of all game long. You've been doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that time they tried to go to the hard count to get the Panthers to jump. They didn't. They continued with that hard count, and then a false start happened because it was just too long sitting in that 3-point stance.
And you watch Kamiya's body language at the end of the play, and he was kind of like, because I think he thought he had the edge on that, and he was going for a big run.
So they'll back him up to the 41. And it's a 3rd and 8 now. Here's Felton. They'll send Planinsic in motion. Fake the handoff to him. Look downfield. Step up in the pocket. Tuck it away. He'll gain a couple. Still trying to fight for more yards, but he's wrapped up and taken down. Well short of the marker, and it looks like the Hawks are going to have to kick away here with 1:15 to go in the half. Tweedsmuir will get another crack on offense here and try and tie this football game.
Once again, the defense of Lord Tweedsmuir in the second quarter really stepping up. They're able to penetrate those seams and really make life difficult. And I think if Phillip wasn't as agile as he was and so good with his legs, there'd be a lot more sacks on him. And looking at the stats, I don't think he was sacked at all this year, which is an absolutely outstanding stat.
We can thank Evan Noli for most of that. Yeah, I'll take your word for it, man. Some of the stats can be a little bit sketchy
exactly.
On the BC High School website. They didn't have playoff numbers updated for the Hawks.
We can only go, even if it's fake news, we've got to go with what we can go with, right?
Yes. So it is 4th down, and Tweedsmuir calls the timeout to preserve some seconds on the clock. There's 75 of them showing right now. As return man stands back around the 18-yard line for this upcoming punt.
Been entertaining. You know what? There's been ebbs and flows both ways. If you're a fan of either team, you've had some real moments to cheer for.
Been an entertaining opening 24 minutes, or 23 and change. Here's Taryn Birdie for the punt. Here comes pressure. He got it away. It'll bounce at the 22. A bounce again and picked up at the 25-yard line and down there by Arjun Ball. So 75 yards to go here for the Panthers and 106 to do it in. As out comes the offense here for Lord Tweedsmuir.
Well, they found a little success on the last drive, getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers, Drysdale, O'Doom. Will they go back to that same formula to try to tie this thing up and feel really good about themselves going into halftime?
Well, those are the guys that have got you to this position, and I don't think you want to get away from that at this point.
Because Anderson really hasn't made his mark on this game as of yet.
He's been the featured guy, over 600 yards for Anderson this regular season. Here's Trey Jones to throw, deep over the middle, man wide open, pass is caught, 40, 30, and taken out of bounds down at the 20. Let's see where they spot him down. They'll say 26-yard line on a vicious tackle at the end of that play from A.J. Joel. But coming wide open across the field.
Caden Lilly.
Man, was he open.
He's saying, you're talking about these other guys. Hey, number 10's right here too. And you know what? Give the guy credit, because if he had dropped that ball, how would he have felt? Because, he was so alone.
And they actually bring it back to the 30-yard line. I don't think he went out anywhere near that far back, but they'll spun it down in the 30. It's a 1st and 10 here for the Panthers. Clock reads 57 seconds. Lots of time here for Tweedsmuir. Jones, left-handed, fires. And that one off the hands and incomplete. On a trip, set, slant pattern that was open. Jones was just off the mark. It's 2nd and 10.
Drysdale got the one hand on it, trying to make the TSN highlight package and couldn't quite corral it. But I like the fact they're doing different looks here now, Jake. They're trying a few different things, and they need to do that against a very good and experienced High-Axe defense.
2nd and 10, 52 seconds to go. Clock is stopped. Ball on the 30-yard line in between the hash marks. Tight end, the 3 receivers in there. Step up in protection, Anderson. Here comes pressure on Jones. Does well to evade, and then just goes down. That's a monster loss there for the Panthers. That started at the 30, and it's back all the way into the 45. 15 yards on the loss there for Tweedsmuir.
Ryan Rapsky among the O-linemen in there kind of apologizing to Jones as he was left to his own end there, as there were about 3 or 4 different Hayek jerseys everywhere he looked.
Somebody missed a block is what happened on that play. And now Farhan Lalji will call timeout for the Hayeks on a 3rd and 25, as he thinks he might be able to get the football back with some time left and get downfield for some more points.
Well, that's a couple times in a row now that they've gotten good penetration in on that quarterback on Jones. So what if they're going to bring the blitz here and try to send him back even further?
3rd and 25, why not? As if you bring an extra body before or more than there are to block you, you got to remember, if you want to get a first down, you got to get 25 yards here, and I'm not sure that leaves you enough time to get downfield and get the football down there to pick it up. Let's see.
Well, you watch on the near side, number 15, Austin Galbraith had 3 interceptions that go to the air and go to his side. You wonder if he can bring that down and give his Hayeks.
Got to get to the 20-yard line. Jones on the swing. Is that a lateral? That could be a live football. It's picked up by the Hayeks to the 30, 20, 15, 10, down to the 5, and knocked down by Jones at the 3-yard line on their return off the lateral pass. Rathjen picking it up and running downfield. That was very close to a forward pass, but the officials deemed it a lateral, and back the other way it goes to Rathjen. And the Hayeks in business here with 29 seconds to go.
That was a lateral, and credit Jones because that was an awfully ugly tackle, but he did whatever he could with his body to bring him down.
Oh, man.
Like a marathoner trying to cross the finish line, steps away, couldn't quite get there.
That could be a huge tackle there from Jones if he can keep the Hayeks out of the end zone here, as Rathjen was just 3 yards away from pay dirt as Jones sold out to bring him down. But 29 seconds to go in the half. A massive turnover there on the Panthers, and here come the Hayeks to the line of scrimmage. Phillip will hand off. Working his way to the goal line. Comia reaching out for it. But they'll say down at the 1. Knee was down for Brox Comia. It'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line with the clock running here. 15 seconds to go. Still ticking along. Down to 12. Hayeks to the line. Make it 10. Here's the snap. Phillip looking, diving, flags come in. And I don't think the Hayeks have any timeouts left either here, Warren Andrews.
I think they burned them all earlier.
And this could cost them here, depending on the flags. 5 seconds is what reads on the clock here, and I think regardless, the Hayeks will get one more play here from the line of scrimmage.
So impressed with this front 4, including Noah Bedard, one of the returning offensive linemen, and also on the defensive side, the Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers done such a great job on those goal line stands. 2nd time in a row that they have denied the Hayeks from reaching the promised land.
I think that was an illegal shift on the line of scrimmage here from New Westminster. Ball is on the 1 right now. I think this is going to come back to the 6, I think, off the penalty. And then is there a time runoff here with no timeouts?
Well, we got 5 seconds still. At least that's what it's showing in the stadium clock.
Already play 2nd down, but it'll be 2nd and 6. And Hayeks did have a timeout left in the bank, and they'll use it here with 5 seconds to go.
Almost wonder if this will play to New West's advantage, believe it or not, because they've done a lot better job, being out at the 6, 10-yard line than they have on the goal line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting play call here. Do they stay on the ground knowing that this will most likely be the final play of the half, or do they maybe go for like a quick strike to the boundary, and if they don't get in the end zone, live to play maybe one more down, try and get a play off in 4 seconds?
But do you take that chance? Ask the Seattle Seahawks about.
Personally, I don't know.
The possibility of an interception if you are going to throw a screen.
Honestly, right here, if I'm Farhan Lalji, I am either throwing to the end zone or I just line up and kick a field goal at this point.
Take the points while they're there, right?
I mean, it's essentially an extra point attempt if you want to line up for a field goal here, but I mean, As we saw a year ago, Farhan Lalji not really one to kick the footballs. He went for 2 in the win in a tie game, or down a point, excuse me. Had a chance to tie the game at the end of regulation, but went for 2 to win the game and came through.
Panthers.
Now the Panthers is the waiting game. The game of chicken continues here.
A little game of chess, a little chicken, whatever you want to call it. Panthers, after seeing the look that the Hayeks were going to run, call timeout.
I won't be surprised if they hand the ball off, though. Honestly, a little misdirection. It's worked in the past. They do that quick handoff.
But if you don't get in, that's it. Because you don't have any more timeouts, and the clock will run. I think if you throw the ball, you have 5 seconds, you can get a football play off in 4 seconds or less.
I just like the success that they've had up front.
But,
I mean, that's the reason we're up here, and there's guys down there with headsets that know the plays even a little more than we do.
Let's see.
Well, at least more than me, anyway.
G back to the Hayeks sideline. As is Thornton. Well, he's taking his time.
Oh, they're clearing out the backfield. I think they're going for it. I think you're right, Jake.
Thornton's still on the field here for this snap. Is Phillip going to keep it himself to the goal line, fighting to get in?
No.
And I think he's stopped at the 1. And that's how the first half is going to come to a close. Phillip inches away from the end zone, but couldn't get in. What a stop on defense there from Tweedsmuir.
Shades of the Tennessee Titans against the St. Louis Rams back in the day, 1 yard away reaching.
Helmet came off and everything there for Phillip, and Panthers stack it up at the 1 yard line and keep Phillip out of the end zone, and that's how the half will come to an end. And
I still like the call. I like the call because that was their bread and butter. You go, you dance with the one that brung you in. They didn't get it, but you know what? They came awfully close.
We have a BC Sports Hub, a couple of features coming up here for both teams. Make sure you check them out as time up on the clock reads 15 minutes. Enjoy these features from BC Sports Hub, and we're back with second half action after this on BCHighSchoolFootball.com.
We have a process in this program, process at this school, and we follow that process. And if everybody buys in, the wins should take care of themselves. Kojo Odum, he'll be a highly recruited player. He's an outstanding student, one of our most physical players. He's going to play some running back this week for the first time in a couple of years. So he's a player to watch.
Being able to dominate the person that's lined up across from you every play. I mean, there's not a lot of sports where you can line up and just punch across from you in the mouth, you know. There's not many like it.
To be honest, to be motivated for me, I'm scared of failure. Like, if I fail at something, I'm scared that I'll fail again, so I just try and get better for it, so I'm better for next time, so I don't fail again, and that fear doesn't come up.
To win every game, go to the Subway Bowl, try and win it. Everyone's main goal is just to win provincials again this year.
Well, our expectations are to go all the way. That's what we're here for. I think we have the talent to do it.
This season, I don't want anything less than a senior varsity championship, honestly. We worked too hard, too long to come all the way this time. It's grade 12 our last season and nothing less than a championship.
It makes a huge difference when you squeeze.
You win on the field, you don't win on the paper. You win on the scoreboard. Pre-season rankings, we've had a couple injuries since they came out that certainly would affect our team as a whole, but we'll do our talking on the field, and we'll leave the polls for others.
We got to take it 1 week at a time, right? So we have Centennial this week. All our focus has been on playing Centennial.
Doc, you're just bubbling up here. We got to make sure we're ready this week, and then we'll look towards the following week. So this week's Centennial, this is our job to make sure we're ready to go and do our jobs on Friday night.
Let's go, baby!
Where at the higher levels, you're more in on your fundamentals and preparing for games. Where here, it's a little different. Not as much pressure to win, but I think there's more pressure on you to make sure that you're molding a fine young man. I think when a person leaves this football program, hopefully they've got some great life lessons.
Being back with all my friends, like all my brothers that I've grown up with, this is our last season together. Everyone has to just be on the same page, and we all have to do well in school.
Just get to a college and with there try and get into electrical engineering. Like, I know football won't last for me. I see it as a train, and that train can only go so far. But then I want to make it a stop at electrical engineering and get somewhere farther in my life.
I'm the head coach here in Westminster. This is my 31st year of coaching high school football. In 2003, kind of decided I wanted to start my own program, so myself and some coaches that I'd been working with for a while, we came here and made a pitch to them, and they decided they wanted to have the football program, and now we're into year 16. The really appealing part about New West is I've always said it's a small town disguised as a suburb, right? Because people here live here. There's not 6 degrees of separation, there's 3. It's the only school in town. People take real pride in the school. We've got a great stadium here, so it's a real unique setup. It's affected the kids within the community, right? I mean, it's created a real point of pride. I believe, you know, we not just from a football standpoint, but in terms of how we attempt to raise young men.
Last season it went really well. We won every game, but like in those games we had a lot of adversity.
We did amazing winning the championship. I feel like we had a really strong team, a lot of connections, a lot of brotherly bonds with the whole team.
We won the championship. It was amazing. Like, it was a great bond with our team, and we did really well. We're here every day. Like, we're here together. Like, when we see each other in the hallways, we're usually together. Like, it's not just on the field, but like it's outside. Like, we plan to do stuff together, and we're just a family.
My friend Shay, he got me into playing flag football, and then he told me that he got some hands, so let's come play tackle with me. So I'm part.
My mom put me in it. I wasn't really doing much around home, and then she made me go into it, and I loved it ever since.
My mom, she wanted me to get into aggressive sports and learning how to control my anger and stuff in football.
I think we've got a really good group of coaches and a real good community and support staff in the building here at the school. There's a lot of people that support them, and I think the kids believe in that, so they all want to work hard. They're like-minded that way, and I tell them they're a special group because there's 1,800 people in the school that wouldn't do what you do.
A turnover chain, it just shows the dog in you. Whenever you make a play, you're on defense, you get a sack or a fumble recovery, or you cause the fumble or an interception, you're there for that, and you deserve the chain, you put it on, and you rock it.
All right, football fans, welcome back inside BC Place. Jake Elliott, Warren Andrews with you as we get set for second half action here in quarterfinal number 3. Mount Douglas and Vancouver College will play in the semifinal next weekend. The winner of this one will take on the winner of Notre Dame and Terry Fox. That one comes up at 7:30 right here on BCHighSchoolFootball.com and SportsCanada.TV, your home of the road to the Subway Bowl here at BC Place. Thanks for joining us. 14-7, Hayaks lead the Panthers after 24 minutes of play as the defending champions up a touchdown. But how about the goal line stop at the end of the first half by the Panthers to remain just down 7 as they'll get the football to start half number 2. Here we go. Kick it off. Let's play some football. Good long driving kick. Sends Simon all the way back to his 8-yard line. Still trying to pick his way through. Got a good surge past the 30. Almost broke that one. Out past the 36-yard line, and good field position here for the Panthers is number 23 on the return, not 13.
And a nice job there. Broke 2 tackles before he was finally brought down on the third man and just followed the blockers. But then when there were no blockers available, decided he was just going to charge through it anyway.
That was O'Doom on the return who had the touchdown for the Panthers as they'll come to the line of scrimmage here from the 37-yard line. Under center, Jones the handoff. Good hole here for Anderson. Breaks away from a tackle, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Knocked out of bounds down around the 16. How about it from Anderson, his biggest carry of the game, and just pulled away from the defense at the line of scrimmage and then had to be run down from behind.
Wow. So we're looking at, 44, 45-yard run. And, I mean, the offensive line did a nice job of opening the hole on the outside, but then he did the rest. He had 3 guys pursuing him all the way and talked about he wasn't having a big impact in the first half. Well, he made a big impact to start the third quarter here.
Yeah, and you kind of feel like if the Panthers can get their groove going offensively, they really turned up the pressure defensively after giving up a couple of touchdowns. If they can find their groove offensively, look out here if you're the Hayaks. Here's Anderson on the back-to-back carries. Slower delivery this time, and Phillip will wrap up around the 10. And it'll be close to a 5-yard gain and bring up 2nd and 5 here for Tweedsmuir as Jones over to the Panther sideline for the next play call as Anderson. Tough to get that rock again after breaking off a big run like that. You expend a lot of energy and then have to deliver once again on the very next play. Tough to do, but Anderson does well to pick up 5, and it'll be 2nd and manageable here for Lord Tweedsmuir.
Well, there are 2 small seams. He found both of them, but then the hole collapsed, and Phillip, who's been an absolute beast on the defensive side, in there once again, helping to gang tackle and bring him down.
From the right hash mark at the 10-yard line, Jones under center. He was working out of the shotgun predominantly in the first half. Anderson's going to be stacked up in the backfield. And forward progress whistle goes.
I don't like the play call.
No,
That's going to the well too many times.
I agree there, Warren Andrews, on a 2nd and 5. I think the Hayaks had a good read on that, and there was just no blocking out on the edge. And into the backfield quickly on defense was Rathjen, who had that almost pick 6. And we talked about it. Remember Trey Jones all the way back in that first half making that touchdown-saving tackle at the 3-yard line. Well, that kept points off the board for the Hayaks, that stop there by Jones. So Rathjen could have had a pick 6, but a touchdown-saving tackle from Jones has kept them within 7. And now here on their opening drive of this second half, face a 3rd and 10. As Jones will drop back to pass. Guns one. Complete to the 10-yard line, but will be well short of the first down. Will bring up a 4th and 5. And now, if you're Tweedsmuir, what do you do here? Do you bring out the field goal team, or do you go for it down a touchdown here on a 4th and 5?
I think you take the points. I don't know. From what I understand, is that O'Doom is also the kicker too for the team. So maybe, get the 3 points, get yourself within sniffing distance, and hope for another big defensive stop coming up here.
Well, it looks like O'Doom's going to stay out on the field.
Okay, and number 4 is a Drysdale.
Yeah, O'Doom, I think, will do the punting duties, or Jones will handle those as well, but it looks like Drysdale will be the place kicker as he puts a leg into it. High kick, but an accurate one right through the center of the uprights. And points on the opening drive of the second half here for Lord Tweedsmuir gets them within 4. make it 14-10 now for the defending champions over the number 1 seed.
Well, you think about it, that's 3 straight positive plays for these Panthers. They score the touchdown, and then they stop them on the goal line, and then they come back and pick up 3 points.
And now the Hayeks will try and respond after giving up points defensively to start this half. As don't forget, 7:30 kickoff here on BCHighSchoolFootball.com, just over an hour away from that. Terry Fox, the predominant finalist every year, it seems. Terry Fox Ravens will take on the Notre Dame Jugglers. And a couple of 3 seeds will go at it there. Both teams 5-2 through the regular season. Hard kickoff from Drysdale. Got a good leg and it drives it to the goal line here. And here comes the return on for the Hayeks. It's Purdy. Makes one man miss up this near sideline and steps out of bounds across the 30-yard line out to the 34. Good return there. 34-yard return for Taryn Purdy.
Kyle Dodd, a nice job wrapping him up, but that's what the Hayeks needed to respond, and some decent field position. Once again, they're sitting out there, close to the 40-yard mark.
I'm going to get a quick shout out into my Langley Rams, who unfortunately went down into defeat today at the hands of the 5 in a row. No, man. 7 out of the last 8, and now 5 in a row for the Saskatoon Hilltops in the CJFL Canadian Bowl Championship from Saskatoon earlier today. 58-21, the final. Hilltops are your champions once again. This is Brox Comey on the sweep, trying to turn the corner upfield. Gets across the 50 and out of bounds. The flag comes back at the 42.
I think that I think you're going to get a holding penalty there on the edge, as he was not holding him, but he was laying on top of him having a nap. You watch out here, and he cuts around the corner. He had room, but then you'll see 2 players are kind of laying down on the turf, and I think that that's going to be a holding penalty coming back.
It will go against the Hayeks. They will go backwards. And we'll see if it's a spot foul here and where they put it down. They'll put it right back at the line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line. As they got to get to the 45 for a first down.
It's a shame because it was a nice run by Camilla too.
And one of the few times they've ran to the outside with success as well. High snap. Trap play. Tripped up. Nicely done there in the hole.
Michael with the nice tackle as he was laying on his back.
Michael with 30 tackles through the regular season. Makes an important one there on Comia as he shed his block and then still got contact on the ball carrier.
Jake, they've stayed primarily on the ground. You have to wonder, do they give it a shot through the air here?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the receiving core that they had last year. I'm a little surprised they haven't gone to the air a little bit more. But when you got this guy in your backfields, you don't want to get away from that very often as he's close to first down yardage here.
Showing the coach just a few inches. Let's go for it again.
Well, they're going to back this up. It's going to be closer to about 2 yards here for Comia's. Right there, almost broke free, but taken down and now.
You don't want to go fishing with that guy if that's what he says is the 2 yards, a little inch marker. How big was the fish you caught?
3rd and 2. Here we go. Phillip, the keeper, he's got the first down and more. Kinsale Phillip into the backfield, down to the 33-yard line of the Panthers. And the quarterback's biggest run of the game.
What a marvelous job. Great job on the old line, and then he did the rest himself.
He gets tangled up there with Jaden Simon after that play.
Nathan Gemman almost had him, too. He had his arms around him. He just managed to slip through, pick up the big gain.
Well, Hayeks on the move here, trying to respond after that field goal from Lord Tweedsmuir. We'll break the huddle and set up shop in between the hash marks at the 32. Shotgun snap for Phillip. He'll hand off, trying to follow his blockers as Comia, protecting that ball as he twists and turns in the hole and goes ahead for close to 5.
Nice job, some hard yards to pick up. Did a great job of following the blocker. Showed some excellent patience without standing still. Look at the big man up top there.
Just kind of waited for Noli to clear out that block and then just good dexterity there to stay on his feet.
Noli's uncle, actually a two-time Olympian. I don't know if you knew that. Ken Padvakis with the sprint canoeing Paralympic.
Big sprint canoeing fan. One. Big time.
You run the forum, don't you?
Here's the shotgun snap. It's another handoff. Good cut from Comia. First down to the 20-yard line. As that'll move the chains for the Hayeks, who have a nice drive cooking here on their first possession of the second half.
It has been the Brock's Camilla train, and once again, boy, I just love the patience he shows, not just with blockers, but waiting for the defender to make that move, and then he'll make his move to gain those few extra yards.
Ball on the left hash. They'll set up quickly here. Two receivers to the high side, one in the backfield, tight end in there. It's Phillip on the carry. He'll plow across the 24-yard gain, maybe two. Closer to one, and it'll bring up 2nd and 9.
Good read there by the defense. Graham Goddard getting in there and getting Phillip from behind. And they said, we saw that huge run you had last time. We don't want you doing that again.
Spotted down just shy of the 19.
Yeah, he was the first one in there, but boy, he had a lot of help. He had about 3 other green jerseys in there helping wrap up Phillip.
Here's a pass. It's caught down to the 6. And first time we've really seen Phillip go to the air over the middle. We've seen him deliver a couple of deep balls. But at that time, Lalim making the completion over the middle. And I'll put the ball down the 6-yard line, and it's 1st and goal here for the Hayeks.
Good timing for a throw there because, I mean, they had been to the ground. And
Well,
then
that's what opens up the passing game is when you just run, and then all of a sudden it's pass as Comia slicing for another 4-yard gain down to the 2.
I think he can thank his offensive lineman in front of him there for at least a yard or 2 of that. Very impressed with this New West offensive line on the run.
And this clock ticking along here all the way down under 5.5 minutes here as both teams with just a single possession here in this third quarter. We're already halfway through it.
Well, this is the 3rd time now, for a goal line stand essentially for this Lord Tweedsmuir, and New West hoping 3rd time is the charm.
2nd and 2 from the goal. Phillip out of the shotgun. He'll hand it off. Cut it back inside and into the end zone they go. Touchdown Hayeks. As he just breaks the plane. Brock's Comia with another major for New Westminster.
Colton Cameron got a hand on him, but you couldn't slow him down. And Camilla well-deserved because the last couple of offensive plays for the Hayeks, he's been the man. They've gone back to the guy that gone through the regular season.
Well, it's just a running back knowing where the nose for the goal line, if you will, there. I think if he needed more than 2 yards, he probably stretches that run out to the outside as the extra point blocked. This is a live football.
Referees blew it down low right away.
I'm not sure they should have, but they do. Actually, maybe NCAA rules, that is a dead ball. NFL, I think that's a live football, and you can run that one back for a 2-pointer. But I think under the rules that they play, which are essentially college rules here in high school football in BC, that's a dead ball. But essentially, get back to Comia. Like, I think if he needs 4 or 5 yards, he probably strings that run out a little bit more. But knowing that he just needed 2, cut it back up inside and dive for that goal line. That's good heads-up running there from Brox.
Very cerebral runner, knows when he has to follow the blockers and knows when he can sneak out and find those holes. And I guess, you know, when you're average over 11 yards a carry, and like 5 touchdowns I think he got on the year, and in an offense that doesn't just use one running back, too. I mean, it's a triple-headed monster a lot of times.
Indeed. Kingsley, Planinsik into the backfield as well as
Phillip.
Yes, there's another as out come the Terry Fox Ravens for their light warm-ups. Here's a kick angling for a sideline. This is going to be procedure here. Or did Tweedsmuir touch that?
Looked like O'Doom got a fingertip on it.
I'm going to say he did not touch it. And that's procedure on the Hayeks as the ball bounces out of bounds at the 23-yard line. And this will be a penalty here against New West on the kickoff, as the Panthers haven't really been dangerous in the return game so far in this one, but they angle that kick intentionally, I think, and never a good thing when you knock the ball out of bounds off the kickoff.
No. Tell you what, though, too, you wonder if the kicking game's going to come back to bite the Hayaks in the butt, because, I mean, you get that extra point and all of a sudden, you know, it's not just a touchdown and a field goal to tie things up.
Yeah, and the opportunity at the end of the first half to maybe kick a field goal as well, went for a touchdown instead and came up empty. And speaking of coming up empty, that first down run from Anderson goes nowhere, thanks courtesy of Evan Nolan.
So that's got to be at least 4 straight plays to Anderson, going back to the last time they had the rock, the Panthers.
Well, it was Rathjen and Noli in on the tackle there. 2 prominent defenders for the Hayaks. Well, it brings up a 2nd and 12 after the 2-yard loss. Jones will go back into the shotgun. He's got 2 in the backfield. 1 in the slot and 2 split wide. As he'll take the snap and misdirection. It's a handoff. Oh, hard contact there at the line of scrimmage. As O'Doom gets ahead for a few. And I'll bring up a 3rd and about 8. Here for the Panthers, who find themselves down 10 now with the clock running under 4 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter.
An important drive here for the Panthers, is it not, Jake?
Have not lost a football game all season long here in the regular season. But down 10 here to the defending champions. But with the football late in this 3rd quarter. Important play here for Lord Tweedsmuir. Shotgun Jones, handoff Anderson. He'll run it left, lowers the pads. He'll be about 3 yards short of the first down across the 40-yard line. And a lot of time to go in this football game here, and just haven't really got the engine going at full cylinders here yet, Warren, in this football game against this Hayak defense. And it looks like they're going to kick it away.
Stephen Sharma with a nice job there of sealing off the edge and not allowing Anderson to get that first down.
And out come the jugglers now to warm up, as well as both teams down in their respected end zones as they get their warm-ups in, as here comes the kick.
Nice.
It is a great punt here, all the way back down to the 21-yard line. Turn it back upfield. Maybe a block in the back there, but Panthers down well to cover as they'll wrap up around the 26.
Galbraith did a nice job of just fielding that, because it looked like it was going to sneak behind him, actually.
There is a flag down on the play at the 35. And usually this will be on the return team here for an illegal block. Or a hold. Let's see what the call is. As Lee Breen and his mustache will make the call, and it is a block in the back.
So that'll nullify what was a decent return. Hayak, so I think more than anything, they just want to sustain a really long drive here and keep that Panthers offense off the field. I don't think they'll be in any hurry to march down. They just want to march down eventually.
Well, they're going to have a long field to go, but, I mean, if you can get more points here, if you're the Hayaks, and go up 3 scores, yeah, field goal would still be a 2-score game, but if you can get a touchdown here, if you're New West, you're going to set yourself up for some success in the 4th quarter, you would think.
What's Lord Tweedsmuir done on offense other than maybe that one set of downs where they got the touchdown, really?
That big run from Anderson you think about, but really I was just about to say, you got to give a lot of credit to what the Hayaks have done defensively here. Always kind of known as a flashy offensive team that runs a lot of different looks at you, but it's really been their defense that has been stout here against a high-powered Panther offense this evening, just limiting them to 10 points here with 2.5 to go in this 3rd quarter.
Showing the patience of Yoda here, from waiting for blockers to set up to just taking their time to get the play off.
2nd and 5 up the middle, first down. Running well, it's Planinsek, and wrapped up there by O'Doom, but not after about a 20-yard rip there from Planinsek.
I swear if he would have put his head down and just gone straight up, he would have gained another 15, 20 yards. That hole was absolutely massive, and he hit it in a hurry, and then you look, where are the green shirts? Someone's already blocking them, and he kind of cut to the outside, and that's where O'Doom was able to get him.
So it'll be a fresh set of downs here for the Panthers as we have an injured Panther. I think that's Addison Sadler, who was down earlier in the football game. So he'll get up and walk off under his own power once again. With the Hayaks, who lead this thing 20-10, we'll have a 1st and 10 from the 32. As we get a look at some of the crowd here inside BC Place this evening, and Terry Fox, Notre Dame coming up next, and both schools travel well with their fan units.
On a good crowd, considering you got a Canucks game right next door against one of the original 6 franchises in Montreal.
Yeah, let's see if we can get you an update from Rogers Arena here quickly.
I saw a lot of red and white jerseys. I'm going to tell you that on the SkyTrain coming over here.
Those Habitant fans, they travel well, no question about it. And what do we got? 2-2.
Ooh.
5 minutes to go in the third period from Rogers Arena. Michael Del Zotto scored a goal, as did EP40. Here's the handoff, and up ahead for 2. And nice of TSN to give Farhan Walji the night off to coach his football team and not cover the Canucks game here tonight.
Wonder if he's taking the red eye out to Calgary for the big game tomorrow.
He might be. That should be a doozy. Winnipeg and the Stampeders, and the Tiger Cats and Red Blacks in the Eastern Final.
And I mentioned Ric Flair. I saw on Twitter, apparently the Ticats are bringing Ric Flair to Ottawa.
Why wouldn't you? David Braley, bucking up. Can't be cheap.
No, I guess
not. For the Nature Boy.
Yeah. Woo!
Styling and profiling.
Always love it when these sports teams like Tampa Bay Lightning, back when they were on their Stanley Cup run, they brought out Hulk Hogan. You bring out these guys to... Why is it always the wrestlers they bring out?
Well, I don't know. I know
entertainers?
I'm a lacrosse guy, and it's Saskatchewan. Bruce Urban, the owner there, he's done some neat things over the years, including one George St. Pierre coming out to be on the bench for a game. Yeah, he's done a couple of UFC guys over the years. I think Ken Shamrock and what's the guy's name? Randy, old school heavyweight guy. Can't remember his last name.
Well, wouldn't Ken Shamrock been great for the Victoria Shamrocks in a game?
Yeah, I don't think they're quite on that same budget level, but yes. So anyways, I think that's pretty cool. And hey, like if it got you a 48, if it helped you get a 48-8 win in week 1 of the playoffs, you don't want to get away from that. So why not bring the Nature Boy back?
Pretty impressive when you can win with your third-string receivers, putting up huge numbers here. And Hayaks don't look like they have to use their receivers much here. This has been the running game. It's been the big difference in this one.
I can confirm, and it'll be a bit of a tough conversation, but Travis Lulay will join me for the Subway Bowl 2 weeks from tonight. As Kinsale Phillip tries to go up the middle, and nothing there is really after that first quarter and that early success for the Hayaks offensively. That defensive line has really stepped their game up, and they're just, trying to get off the field here and keep Brox Comia contained, but they've done a nice job kind of plugging up that middle since that opening quarter.
They have, and you know what, you watch New West, they haven't done a lot of the deception as much. It's been more straight ahead here in the second half. I mean, why not, though? Camilla's peeled off a couple of decent runs. They're trying to work the clock down. Now less than a minute to go here in the third quarter. Up by 10.
They do face a 3rd and 6 here. And a little confusion on the personnel here for the Panthers. They'll hand it off to Comia. He's got a good block, turns it upfield. Brox Comia breaking away from the pack. 30, 25, 20, 15 into the house on a walk from Brox Comia. Touchdown, Hayaks.
Oh, my word. Are you kidding me? Number 5 with the big 6 there. And that was all him. He found the hole, and then he was off to the races. And the the Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers had the best seat in the house to watch him score that touchdown. No one was catching him.
His 3rd of the game for Brox Comia. And it looks like the Hayaks will go for 2 after that touchdown. As you know, and you can walk into the end zone from the 10-yard line. You got some speed behind you.
No salsa dancing in front of the football this time.
Didn't want to take another 15-yarder after that touchdown play and just drop the ball, walk to the sideline, and then his head coach said, get back on the field. We're going for 2. So Kinsale Phillip will line up with an empty backfield, trip receivers to the near side. It's a handoff to the goal line, and into the house they go. It's Planinsik punching it through. A little pushing and shoving after that 2-point conversion, but it's good.
And is this New West O-line with Noli and company starting to wear down this Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers defense.
I think you might be onto something there, Warren Andrews, as we'll get a penalty call here. And it's going to go against New West. I think they're going to have to line this one up again. As I think another illegal shift before the snap, and this might change the play call. I think it will, and now Farhan Lalji wants to go for one. Right now it's a 16-point lead. One makes it a three-score game, so I kind of think they probably should have lined up for one to begin with.
Yeah.
I get going for the two and making it 18 and making them have to score 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But in fact, that's not even the case, because if you can get 2 converted touchdowns, 2-point conversions, and then kick a field goal, that's 19. So the decision to go for 2 didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
I don't think he's too worried right now because, I mean, just with the way New West peeled off that big play there, and they've had a couple of big plays, and then you look at the benches and you look at the sparse numbers on the Lord Tweedsmuir sideline, then you look at the mob that's over on the New West sideline.
And I did not quite pick up the call there from Lee.
He said there was no flag, no flag.
Okay. So they'll just line it up and re-kick here as they got it spotted down on the 15. Uprights are in the back of the end zone here, which is not normal for a CFL field, but the way they have it lined up, the uprights are where they should be. And here's the kick. North Graves, good from 25. And now 27-10. Hayaks lead it with 4 seconds to go here in the third quarter, as the defending champs try and punch their ticket into the semifinal. And really, we could very well see, a rematch of last year's Subway Bowl. If the Hayaks hang on to this 17-point lead, Terry Fox gets past Notre Dame. Those are the 2 teams that met in the final last year. What a semifinal matchup that would be.
Tell you what, though, I think Will Clark's going to have a little something to say about it in that game coming up here. But it's going to be a dandy of a game to wrap up quarterfinal Saturday here at BC Place, and we're so glad to have you along watching, if you can't be here, along with a great crowd.
Streamed live on SportsCanada.TV, on YouTube, and BCHighSchoolFootball.com. And pretty much the same time and game schedule a week from today. Another 5 games back here at BC Place next week. Kickoff down to the 10. Here comes the return from the Panthers, coming near sideline. Turn it back across the field. Got a good cut. Got room out in front. Planinsic going to run him down, possibly a touchdown-saving tackle there. As if Planinsic doesn't wrap up on Michael, he still might be running. As anytime you can, that was Omer Cody on the return, but just watch Planinsic come into your picture there, and if he doesn't make that tackle, he's upfield, and he's got blockers out in front, as we do have a flag all the way back at the 45, and the Hayaks might have been offside on the kick.
Drysdale did a marvelous job, too, on the block, too, that kind of sprung him. He was here on the near side, and just before he bounced to the outside there was a man tracking him down, and Drysdale came in out of nowhere, not a block from behind, so it was a perfectly legal block, and sprung him free, and he was able to pick up another 5 or 6 yards. Doesn't look like it's going to matter because New West with the infraction.
So it is fourth quarter time here from BC Place in this third quarter final. We know Mount Douglas is into the semis. We know Vancouver College will play them in that semifinal game. And here in quarterfinal number 3, the defending champions over top of the number 1 overall seed. 27-10, Hayaks lead the Panthers with 12 minutes to play.
I'd like to give a little shout out too to a team from my current hometown, David Mills, and the Robert Bateman Timberwolves in the AA with a convincing win today, and he's really turned that program around, and got a chance to see them earlier in the year, and the lone Abbotsford representative now in the playoffs, and I'd like to see them continue to go.
Should be an interesting matchup. Vernon getting through as well.
And they are, from all accounts, the real deal.
The other Panthers in this playoff bracket at the AA level. Trey Jones out of the shotgun will throw on a 3-step drop, looks deep, fires down the sideline, and double coverage out there and step for step. As Caden Lilly couldn't get any separation, is that ball overthrown from Jones anyway. And Lilly comes up a little gingerly after sprinting down that near sideline. Not sure if he tweaked something or maybe rolled an ankle a little bit. He's trying to jog it off, if you will, as he gets back into the huddle. But don't look for the ball to go towards number 10 on this next play, is really in some discomfort.
Jones really didn't have very good touch on that. If he would have done more of a teardrop in there to kind of let him get underneath it, because I think he did have a step on the defender on the play, but the ball was just overthrown by about 5 yards.
2nd and 10 from the Panther 46-yard line, left hash. Shotgun for Jones. He'll throw again. Left-hander loads up the gun over the middle. Tipped. Intercepted. Look out. A convoy down the far sideline. Jones trying to get out to the boundary to take him down. And does, as he might have saved another touchdown, Trey Jones. But the interception.
Matthew Lalim
making the play on defense for the Hayaks. And that could be a dagger there for Lord Tweedsmuir.
All the hype coming into this game was how good Lord Tweedsmuir's defense was, and they are good, but hadn't allowed a point in 3 straight games back to October 12th. And it's been the Hayaks who have come up with the 2 big defensive plays. And
tip drill.
How much do you kind of put that on Jones's shoulder, though, and how much do you put it on the receiver's shoulders?
That's not late over the middle, which is never a good recipe in football to throw the ball late over the middle, but I don't think Lilly was open enough to try and fit that ball in there, and just bad things were going to happen from the get-go. Here's Comia looking for touchdown number 4.
Oh, he's got it.
Brox Comia into the end zone again. And it looks like maybe a little cramping after that touchdown as they'll try and shake that right leg out. It's been working overtime here tonight in the quarterfinal, and Brox Comia again into the house for the Hayaks.
If anyone deserves to have a cramp, it's Brox Comia, because, boy, cut through the hole again. And even with the defender right near him, near the goal line, you knew he wasn't going to get him.
How about it from Brox Comia? His 4th touchdown of the evening here for the new Westminster Hayaks, who put up 33 points now with an extra point to come. And it looks like they'll go for 2 here. No, they're going to kick it, excuse me.
He's really been the hammer that's driving the nail in the coffin of the Panthers season.
Talking to Farhan Lalji last night, saying a healthy Brox Comia is going to be a weapon that he is going to utilize fully in this football game, and that has been the case here tonight. They've handed him the pigskin a lot of times here tonight, and it's paid off for New West in number 5.
Well, I think the deception they did early on, where they kind of got everybody involved, kind of kept everyone on their toes, and then it was Comia time ever since the second half here. Boy, he's been a treat to watch.
We'll have to keep an eye on him in the rest of this game, however, as he came up with a cramp after scoring that touchdown. Now you're up 24 points, 11 and a half minutes to go.
Let him rest.
Maybe you sit the stud tailback down here for the rest of the evening and get him ready for semifinal Saturday a week from tonight.
It's not like they don't have other options, too, either, which are proven in other games and even in this game. So, yeah, no, he's, as good as Phillips been on the defensive side, I think now if you're looking at a player of the game, it's got to tilt towards number 5.
Without a doubt. 4 touchdowns in a game, you're going to get the player of the game.
And 2 of them have been absolutely spectacular.
I think Al Bundy is like the only other guy to do that.
And if Uncle Rico had thrown him the ball, he would have had 5.
Wrapped up and dropped down at the 23, and a late hit as well. And now Tweedsmuir losing their focus here a little bit as the Hayaks want to come back, and everybody getting separated here.
The coach has got to get a grip on both sets of players, calm them down a little bit here. And
well, just watch the end of this play on the left-hand side of your screen. I don't think you're going to see it in the picture there, but there was a couple of late hits, late blocks, if you will, after the whistle had gone. And obviously the number 1 overall seed, they haven't lost a game all year long, are clearly frustrated here, down 24 points. And looking at defeat in the face right now, if they can't score on this possession here, you can pretty much turn the lights off at BC Place on the Panthers this season.
Well, not only are they going to have to score, they're going to have to score a whole bunch rather quickly, too.
They're going to have a long field to do it, as they just got rung up for about 3 personal fouls as well.
Here's where your leadership really need to step up and just say, guys, forget the score right now and let's go get the first one.
Yeah, you gotta score before you can come back on anything. So the focus should be just this drive and this drive alone. Can't worry about the score, can't worry about the clock, can't worry about the field position.
No.
Just gotta put your hard hat on and go to work here. As the ball will be all the way back to the 5-yard line to start this drive. As you can see, Notre Dame in the back of the end zone warming up here as they'll take on the Terry Fox Ravens at 7:30 here from BC Place.
And I know that Lord Tweedsmuir has had to come from behind a couple of times this year. I mean, they edged Kelowna 21-20. Against St. Thomas More, it was 27-21. Terry Fox 20-14. So they've had some close games.
Anderson wrapped up quickly right near the goal line as well. Let's see where they give him forward progress to. I think they'll put it down on the 4 here. It'll be a loss of 1.
New West, though, just has to be feeling very confident right now, too, because they're getting it done on both sides of the ball. And they're going to force Lord Tweedsmuir into having to try to make some big plays. And that's where your defense can step up like they've done and maybe cause a few more turnovers. Really put this game out of reach.
From the end zone, Jones, a handoff up the middle. And the Panthers just trying to get out of the shadows of their own goal line here as the handoff to Doom will pick up a couple.
I mean, he's a great athlete, but you'd be better off almost throwing a screen pass to him or something where he's got a little more room to run. He's got those great wheels, as we saw earlier. But I think if you look at this game, full credit to that New West defense and full credit to the fact that they have shut down a high-powered Lord Tweedsmuir offense and really given them almost nothing all game.
3rd and 8. And it's a run for O'Doom. He's got the first down as he's knocked down just shy of the 20 at the 18. Big first down there to move the sticks for the Panthers.
You like to see those leaders step up, make plays like that. And
Anderson out in front along with Drysdale picking up blocks to help O'Doom pick up that first down.
Like last time I looked, O'Doom had 8 schools in Canada. Looking at him, went through a tour of the states, a lot of Ivy League schools. Kind of putting on the pads and showing what he has. I mean, here's a guy probably will be on the defensive side of the ball in college when all's said and done.
Jones will come to the line, go under center for this 1st and 10. Will misdirection and a cutback here from O'Doom. Won't pick up much. Maybe a yard there as Evanoli in on the tackle for the Hayaks.
They're doing what they can to try to get the ball or into the hands of the playmakers, but the New West Hayaks aren't having any of it.
I'm a little surprised we have not seen the football get in the hands of number 4, Joseph Drysdale, a little bit more here tonight. I don't know if it's the Hayaks just taking that away from Tweedsmuir, but he has been such a dangerous player for them all season long, and he's just had limited touches of the ball and hasn't really been involved in this game at all here tonight.
Well, it's been good coverage, but also I think Jones really hasn't been on the mark with a lot of his throws either.
Good point.
That hasn't helped.
Well, here's a wide receiver screen to Drysdale, and there's a catch.
There you go.
And staying on his feet for a 13-yard gain as he's knocked ahead.
Go get that lottery ticket you're good at predicting.
Well, just a little wide receiver bubble screen. Bit of a wobbler there from Jones, and Planinsic, look at the balance there, stay on his feet. That's incredible.
It's like they're running in quicksand right now, though. They're getting plays, but the clock continues to march down. 6.5 minutes to go?
Yeah, I think that's, New West is more than happy to give up 7, 8 yards at a time as long as the clock keeps moving and the football stays in front of them. Up 24 points. They're happy to let Tweedsmuir rip off 5, 6, 7 yards a play as long as they don't get in behind them. Ooh. And there is a hard collision after a 1-yard gain as Evan Noli gets up, celebrating after that tackle.
Philip Kinsale once again, or Kinsale Philip once again in around the ball.
There has been some hard collisions in this game. Wham, again right there.
And not of the illegal,
No.
dirty, type. It's just been hard, good, clean football.
It is a violent, physical game, is football, and these two teams playing it exactly the way it's meant to be played. Ball just shy of the 35, call it the 34-yard line, and make it a 2nd and 6 here for the Panthers as they start the clock once again. Jones out of the shotgun. Sends Drysdale across the formation. He'll take the handoff.
He's going for it.
He's going to throw. He's got a man wide open. And Lilly, he'll bring in the catch. Trying to run him down from behind. 10-5. Touchdown, Panthers. What a play.
Went to Hogwarts. A little wizardry there as Drysdale, instead of trying to make the play with his feet, did it with his arm. And
the razzle-dazzle.
My goodness. Lilly's been impressive. You know what? He hasn't seen the ball a lot, but the few times he's got it, he's made some big plays with it.
Oh, the Hayaks bit on that run coming from Drysdale, who chucked it up there and put it in stride for Lilly and just couldn't be caught from behind. Man, what a play there for the Panthers. Did they ever need that one?
To quote Bon Jovi, they're halfway there living on a prayer now if they can put this extra point up.
34-16.
Well, they're going for
the
two.
Panthers are going to go for 2. Drysdale back and forth across the formation. Looked like the Hayaks jumped. No flag yet. Fire into the end zone.
Oh, look at that defense.
Great play out on the edge there from Matthew Lalim, who's having himself a contest here tonight as well. He's made a lot of plays on the defensive side.
Well, that's a good thing if you're the coach. It's hard to single out one or two guys on defense because there have been so many that have stepped up and made big plays.
Drysdale limping off to the Panthers sideline after that. Failed 2-point conversion. Not sure what happened out there for Drysdale. Just went down a little awkwardly.
And that will not help their cause at all. Leading receiver, almost 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. Average 66 yards a game. Also voted to the all-conference team, and so that's a big chunk of your offense and one of your big playmakers that right now is sitting and resting when you need them the most.
Still a 3-score game after that failed 2-point conversion. They really needed to convert on that to give themselves a chance here. Expect the onside kick to come here now for Lord Tweedsmuir from the 40-yard line, as they're down 18 with 6 minutes to go, and you got to get the football back here if you're Lord Tweedsmuir.
They've got to do every single trick and play that they have done throughout the year, and that one way too far.
Timing not good, and whistles sound off. And I'm pretty sure Lord Tweedsmuir offside is a bit of he stopped and started like a stutter, and it just put everybody off timing there. I'm not sure why he did that.
Well, how much do these teams honestly practice the onside kick really as part of their practices?
Yeah, I mean, probably more than you would think, but probably not enough.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And special teams, like talking with coaches throughout the year, a lot of their time as far as special teams goes is spent on kick coverage.
Yeah.
They just don't want to get burned on big returns. And, I mean, as far as recovering an onside kick go, you put your hands team out there and you hope somebody can make a play for you.
Yeah.
And when you're kicking this ball, anything can happen, really. They may have a couple of different scenarios where they can go up the middle, a little misdirection, but really you're looking for that roll and then the big hop. And that's a live football there, but falling on top of it nicely was Taryn Birdie.
Yeah, they got the first part right where it kind of squibbled through the hands of a Hayak.
You want him to take that big looping skip up into the air after rolling off the turf and then let somebody try and run underneath it. That one never really got up into the air, and Birdie was able to fall on top of it rather easily.
Well, this beleaguered front four is going to have to now start bringing tons of pressure, trying to penetrate. They're going to have to bring linebackers and cornerbacks up on blitzes, I think, to try to generate something on the defensive side because it hasn't happened enough on the offensive side. And otherwise, New West is going to be very content to try to march down this last
look for a
5+.
Heavy dose of run here from the Hayaks. Planinsek still on his feet, protecting the football. Still on his feet as Planinsek won't go down, and finally he does right back around the original line of scrimmage. he had about a 6-7 yard gain. I think they'll actually give him forward progress to that point, but just refusing to go down.
Well, and we talked about, you wondered how tired they were, and I think that sequence right there showed there is a little exhaustion setting in on the green side there. Is earlier in the game, they would have had him wrapped up, but he was able to sift through probably about 6 or 7 tackle attempts.
Well, Bronx Comia, Kinsale Phillips still in the football game here with 5 minutes to play. You can see the clock running on your screen here. 34-16, Hayaks with it inside Panther territory. And I'm not the head coach of the Hayaks, but I'm just a little perplexed on why your 2 stars on offense are still in the game at this juncture. Handoff up the middle, close to a first down by Kingsley, about a yard short. Going to bring up 3rd and 1.
Well, Jake, they talk about in the CFL how the team that finishes first has the week off, and that doesn't always help them. And you have to wonder, Lord Tweedsmuir had the week off where New West was able to get firing on all cylinders and get their offense and defense going. You wonder if that helped them coming into this game.
I definitely think it helped the Hayaks get their rhythm and their timing. And like I said, with Brox Comia and Kinsale Phillip getting healthier by the week, I think it's made a huge difference for them. And listen, these are the defending champions, and a healthy Hayaks team led by Kinsale Phillip, they got a chance to win this thing. Here's Planensic cutting, slashing, and running for about 15, 20 yards down inside the 25 to the 24. First down, Hayaks.
So bad defensively that Evan Noley was looking for somebody to block when he was out in front of the running back there. And what a great play there. You see Evan Noley finally, he's like, I got someone. He actually hit more of his own teammate than the defender. One another nice run, though, peeled off by the Hayaks late here in this football game with about 4 minutes to go.
An injured Panther takes a knee. That's Terrell Jones that goes down. As the Hayaks with points here would surely put it away from the Panthers. Don't forget, coming up in just under a half an hour's time from now, Terry Fox, the finalists from a year ago, the champions from 2 years ago, will take on the Notre Dame Jugglers. Both teams 5-2 in the regular season, and it should be an awesome quarterfinal number 4 here from BC Place.
Well, I was reading, they said that the last time that they met Notre Dame, they went on to win the championship. Did Terry Fox.
Usually if you're going to win a championship, somehow, some way, you're going to have to go through the Jugglers.
It's just the way it is in BC high school football.
Really is. I mean, either Vancouver College or Notre Dame just seems to be there every single year, along with Terry Fox. Phillip under center. Planensic almost fell. Picks up a couple before being knocked down.
A little good sportsmanship there. Kyle Dodd kind of pats Phillip on the head there after the play.
Watch it again here on your replay. Dodd kind of wrestling down Phillip after he got the handoff away.
Just over 3 minutes to go. I would take Motor City Miracle here for Lord Tweedsmuir, but you can't diminish what they did this season and the way they have this program going in the right direction, back-to-back JV championships.
Yeah, it's going to be a disappointing finish to a fantastic regular season here for the Panthers, and they'll be thinking about this one for a while, what could have been this year.
It's almost a shame that a game which could have easily been the finals in any other year is one of the quarterfinal games with the defending champs against the consensus number 1 coming into the game.
Kingsley with another carry. Ball down to the 21-yard line, and the clock just keeps ticking along here. And a big 3rd down coming up here for New West.
I mean, credit New West, too, because Jake's 11 starters graduated last year.
Mm-hmm.
4 key guys, and yet they're able to kind of get through the trials and tribulations of the regular season. When the postseason hits, the mark of a good team, you put it all together.
A healthy Phillip, a healthy Comia, and an absolute stud in Evan Noley. And you got yourself a 34-16 lead here in the quarterfinal. Timeout. New Westminster. Take a quick minute break. We're back with the finish here in quarterfinal number 3 on BCHighSchoolFootball.com. All right, football fans, welcome back out of the timeout. 3rd and 8 here for the Hayaks with 1:57 to go. As they try and put this one away. Brox Comia around the corner, looking for touchdown number 5 for number 5, and he's into the end zone. A game for the ages for Brox Comia.
Touchdown for each finger and thumb on your hand, and he has done it a variety of ways. He's done it with spectacular fashion. There, just some nice misdirection and able to find the edge, and everyone was kind of staring more at the middle, and he was able to once again waltz in without being mauled. Dove in too, just to make it look a little more spectacular.
What a game from Brox Comia as Bedard helped off the field here for the Panthers after that play. As the Hayaks put up point number 40.
Well, I think you got to start looking at resting your stars, your cornerstone players here in the last minute, but they got nothing left to prove. Wow. All can happen is that they'll get hurt.
My goodness. Well, this is, I got to say, this is not what I expected. I thought the Hayaks would have a chance to win this game. I thought the Panthers would have a chance to win this game. I thought it was going to be a much closer contest than this. I just did not expect the Hayaks to be able to move the football up and down the field as easily as they have. And I think add on to that, you mentioned Trey Jones, not really on his best game here today. He was a little inaccurate with the football, and a couple of costly turnovers really turned the tides on the Panthers. They just couldn't get any momentum going, any consistency going offensively, and those turnovers really cost them.
I credit that new West defense, boy. I've been so impressed with what they've done, and now they're going to victory formation
so I think
already.
They're actually wiping that touchdown out for Comia, saying he stepped out of bounds, I believe. So now New West, I think, can just take a knee here and run out the clock.
When you like that, you don't need to grab some more salt and rub it in the wounds of the Panthers.
Classy move there from Farhan Lalji. It's the right move, and I'm glad to see it. You don't need any more points, and just get in your victory formation, take a knee, and get out of here, as they will await the winner of our next game coming up. Notre Dame, Terry Fox come up next. It's a 7:30 kickoff right here from BC Place. On BCHighSchoolFootball.com and SportsCanada.TV, myself, Jake Elliott, and Warren Andrews will have the call for you. And should be another dandy in quarterfinal game number 4, as Vancouver College and Mount Doug will meet in the other semi a week from today here at semi-final Saturday from BC Place next week.
Well, we're keeping our fingers crossed that the next game is the one we've been waiting for, that nail biter that comes down to the last play, because there have been convincing wins throughout the board in pretty much every game so far here in the quarterfinals.
Clock ticking down to 000. A convincing victory for the defending champions as they wave goodbye to the Lord Tweedsmuir Panthers. A final score, 34-16 off the strength of 4 touchdowns from Brox Comia. Notre Dame, the Jugglers, take on the Ravens of Terry Fox coming up next about 20 minutes from now. Don't you dare miss that one right here on BCHighSchoolFootball.com. For now, we will bid you adieu. For our production crew here at BC Place, for Sports Canada TV, for Warren Andrews, I've been Jake Elliott. For the Pigskin, the Gridiron, we'll talk to you at 7:30.